welcome back everybody to Chewing the Fat with Wendy, Harry, and Sally. You guys, you're such a good girl, Sally. Yes, indeed. You guys, we've been busy all this week trying to film some extra things so that we're down to the wire, you guys. Harry's surgery for his eyes is on Friday. Friday, Harry, finally. And we have yet another doctor's appointment Monday with his doctor of internal medicine and to review some of the nuclear tests with him. And then he has blood workup on Tuesday. And then supposedly the zombie apocalypse lockdown virus test that he had to take, they said that that would be sent to your doctor by Wednesday?
3 days.
3 days. But they wouldn't let us walk in and get a copy. They said they would only mail it to us, but they'll send it to the doctor. So we're just keeping our fingers crossed with that. And if everything goes well, he will be having surgery on Friday. So you guys, Friday morning, I am going to be airing March's challenge that I'm going to put together for everybody. And that's going to debut so that we have that so you guys can shop for and get ready for our March Madness. How's that?
Yeah.
March Madness challenge.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, you guys, we want to talk a little bit about, our up in our protein and the changes that are happening because both Harry and I are feeling really good with more protein.
Yeah, feeling really good and, yeah.
Harry sometimes suffers from depression, and he has been... Tell him how you've been feeling, babe.
Better. I don't get down as much.
You said you woke up happy. You were
Yeah.
happy the other day.
I know, I actually woke up happy.
Yeah. So that's a first. No,
Yeah.
It's not a first, but it's been a very, very, very long time. And it's funny because I really need my hair cut. Thursday night I'm getting my hair cut and colored, but I'm getting these pieces right here that are getting long enough. You guys have seen me lately in my pictures where I've got this like cowlick of hair. Well, that's the hair that I lost a long time ago. I was in a horrible horseback riding accident, got kicked in the head and lost that hair. Well, that hair's coming back in now. So I may be losing hair. Hair may be falling out from not having protein or whatever's going on with my diet, but the hair that I didn't have before is growing in. What's that all about? Anyway, we really feel good eating the extra protein. And I was doing some just playing around calculations, and you guys, man, you can really get into trouble and get into a weight stall when you are doing net carbs. I was looking at net carbs on a lot of these new keto products and ones like Quest bars and such where, the average range is like 20 to 28 carbs total, deducting everything to give you 1 to 3 grams, even some of the ice creams. By the time you're done, you guys are probably eating like up to 100 total carbs and thinking, net 20 carbs, and yet you're having weight stalls, maybe some stomach upset, maybe some intestinal issues. And I'm thinking that that's one of the biggest culprits going on. I really do. I think that's even more than not having enough protein or eating too much fat. I think the first thing you need to do is go back to total carbs. And if you've never done total carbs and you're in a weight stall or you're gaining weight, I think the first thing you need to do is go back to total carbs, because I was just amazed. And I've seen people on channels that do, lazy keto and, they don't really count, but they'll say, well, I count the total carbs on these, but on this, I count net carbs. And I'm thinking, how can you get a true picture of what you're eating? You either need to go total carbs and count every single carb, or you need to do the math on every single keto product items to get the true net carbs. You can't say, well, I'm going to throw that one in because that's just total carbs. That's 1 or 2 total carbs. But I'm going to do the net carbs on this one because, you know, there's too many calories and too many carbs in that. And I want to make sure I get to eat that. You know, it's like we're justifying to ourselves why we are potentially not eating the way we should.
Yeah.
And I think it's getting more and more common because there are more and more keto products, packaged keto products out there. You know, I'm seeing all these
Yeah, I've heard all of this.
cereals and everything else. Yeah, well, what do you want to talk about that? I just was thinking about that when I was doing...
Yeah, I know.
When I was
No, go on with it because you're right. But I just mean a lot of people have heard of it, but there's a lot of people that haven't.
Oh, okay. Well, what did you want to talk about?
I don't really know because
You can lead.
tell
You
the
can
truth,
lead the pack.
You know, tell you the truth, this thing about with my heart has just really blown me away. I'm just really blown away by it.
Harry was told by the cardiologist that his stress test was absolutely normal. I mean, all of his ventricles,
That's the stress
all of his
test.
valves were all getting enough blood. His heart was pumping perfect. There were no misbeats, no skips, nothing odd, nothing weird. And Harry was saying when he had his test.
Yeah, because the doc, they kept me on it. They didn't. Usually they put you on it after, you know, they take you off almost right away by having you drink coffee, brings you down. And this doctor didn't let him take me down, and I'm sitting there like freaking.
You said he got up and got closer and closer to the screen.
He got up and he walked over to the screen, like slowly was walking towards the screen and just stood there staring at the screen.
And Harry said he just
watching.
kept going.
I'm going, I'm thinking in my head, what is he waiting for?
Or what has he seen that I'm not seeing?
Exactly. What's going on?
You know?
You know, so he turned around to me and said, everything looks perfectly normal. Take him down. So that means give me some coffee.
You know, and you don't know, but...
And that was one. Then I go in for the nuclear scan. What they do is they take you into a nuclear scan first, and they look at all the chambers of your heart with this machine that flows, you know, goes around you.
Don't they lay you down and then on your side?
Turn you on your stomach and do all this stuff, and you do these things. And they do that, and then they take you in and they do the stress test. And then they take you back and put you in and do it again. Put you on this machine because they want to see what you look like before being stressed and after being stressed. And the cardiologist came to me afterwards, after the test. We went back to see the test, and he said, your heart's normal.
And that was at the test time. So we waited for the test, and we went in for the doctor, and we shared...
That's not what I just said. We went back for a review, and the doctor said, your heart is normal.
Well, he came in and opened up the chart and said, good news, yeah, your heart's normal. And we looked at him like...
what? Because he told us that my heart was damaged.
And you wouldn't be able to fix it.
Because they did this scan once before, and it showed all these problems. They showed, in fact, I gave Wendy a copy of the scan.
Yeah, I have it.
And it shows where all the problems were.
And it talks about when he was laying supine, you know, the blood flow was cut off, and it shows the blood supply being cut off. I've got the pictures.
So what he's telling me is between 2 years ago and now, after being on this keto diet, my heart healed itself.
Well,
basically.
He said the heart's a miracle. Because Harry looked at him, and I looked at him, and I said, well, wait a minute. What about his damage that he occurred when he had his silent heart attack?
Yeah.
And the doctor goes, well, the heart's a wonderful machine. You can grow new blood vessels, and you've got all this new blood running through that part of your heart. So it showed normal blood flow throughout your entire heart. But I still want to put you on statins. That's his favorite line, but I still want to put you on statins.
I think they make money on it.
Well, yeah.
Who knows?
But I have the reports from 2 years ago. And I'm taking that, and I asked for copies of everything that they did with Harry this time.
You should always ask for copies.
Always ask for copies. We're gonna.
Everything.
We already made an appointment to see Dr. Opila because he has to get his well checkup and released for his surgery Friday. And I'm gonna have him read that and read the new one and tell me what's going on.
Because
it's very technical, and I'm reading it, and he does have a small anomaly
that's
slightly showing up in a supine position. Well, if you read the one from 2 years ago, he had a cardiac event, myocardial event, that it talks all about this, and it talks about that area.
Well, even showed a part of the heart damaged from the scan.
In the scan.
So what they did was 2 years ago I went in for the nuclear test, came out, did the stress test, went back and did a nuclear test. 2 years later, I do the exact same thing, and
the test results are so different. The
results are totally like night and day, and the doctor is just like,
heart's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, heart's a wonderful thing. It
grows new veins, and because I said, well, what about the partially collapsed? You said it hardly was getting any blood flow.
And I'd have it the rest of my life, and it can't be fixed.
Yes, he said, well, I'd send you in to get a shot, but we can't do that because it's collapsed, and that's one that you had repaired as part of your quadruple bypass. So. And that was 2 years ago.
And part of the damaged heart, part of the part that got supposedly damaged from this, he said, there's no operation that can fix that.
Right.
We can't fix it.
That was 2 years ago. And this year, he's telling us that he's got blood flow, everything's fine, normal.
Yeah, and it's like, what?
So I'm still kind of...
So we want to go talk to another doctor.
Right, you're a doctor of internal medicine.
And say, is this possible?
Well, here's both tests. Did they give him the wrong test? I mean, did they give him somebody else's?
See, here's the thing that makes you kind of not question it, is because they do a stress test before. I mean, they do a nuclear test before, then they do a stress test, then they do a nuclear test afterwards.
And you said that, doctor...
All three of these came out...
Perfect.
Perfect.
Your EKG was perfect, too.
So one of those out of the three should have showed an abnormality
somewhere
from what was proven 2 years ago. So now I'm like, wow, everybody who supposedly has heart problems better get on this freaking diet, and they better get on it right now. Because if this is what's fixing this problem.
Right.
Because I feel like I'm around 35 years old right now, 34 years old.
Energy-wise?
My energy, energy-wise, everything, okay? So I feel like I'm about 35 years old. It's just...
we walked today.
I don't understand it. I'm a little bewildered, and so that's why I want to talk to another doctor, because it's almost like a too good to be true thing.
Yeah, it's like we don't believe him. It's like we're looking at him like, and we were like, perplexed, because let me explain something. We've been here 8 years in Arizona. For 20 years, Harry has been getting poor, abnormal results from stress tests, from these tests that he's had. When we were in Washington, he was having so many issues with his heart. And the doctor said, well, yeah, Harry, you didn't pass very well, but we're not going to worry about it. They did the heart monitor. They did all this stuff, and he was having all kinds of issues. It was showing up on his EKGs and all these things, right? When we came here and he was having all these issues, and he did that stress test, and they said, we're giving you Valium. We're sending you up to intensive care. You're having quadruple bypass first thing in the morning. On Friday September the 13th, 2013 is when he had it.
Yeah.
He said, you are a dead man walking.
He said, you won't even have a heart attack. You'll just walk.
He says, you're just going to walk and be dead.
God,
he said, you're not having a heart attack. I mean, my daughter and I, Felicia, worked for the hospital and she was the admin assistant for all of the cardiologists. So she got him to the head of the class, picked out the doctor she wanted him to have surgery. We went in to look at his angiogram, and there were these little teeny strings with a little ball. Little string, little ball. And...
like all of the were like that.
I went in and I looked at it. I go, well, what's that? And the doctor looked at me and he goes, exactly. He goes, that's his artery. And I said, what? I said, what are the little balls? He said, that's the only blood that's flowing through that artery. He says, we have your husband still on the table. We have him heavily sedated. I want you to go in and say goodnight to your husband because we're taking him straight up. He has to have surgery as soon as possible. We are totally booked with emergencies. The soonest we can get him in, he is going in.
Yeah, it was like 8 o'clock the following morning.
Yes. No, it was even sooner. It was like
Was it?
5 a.m.
Was
Yeah.
it 5?
I mean, I freaked out. My daughter and I looked at my daughter, I grabbed her arm, and I like had this moment of freak out. And then I had to compose myself because I had to go into where Harry was.
Which was the operating room.
Which was the operating room. Calm him down because they did the angiogram, you know, and he was sedated, and talked to him, sent him upstairs. I don't even know if you remember upstairs sleeping or anything because they had you pretty heavy sedated.
Oh, I remember going up there. Yeah, I do. But
that
I don't
was
remember
about
much
it.
more than that.
But, and then the doctor
They didn't want me to move.
Dr. Riley, who did his surgery, came out afterwards, after the surgery, 9-10 hours later, he was in, and he said, you know, I really don't like doing surgery on people's family members that I'm really close to. And he said, basically, he said, your husband was a dead man walking. You know, we did the best we could. He says, but your husband has severe heart disease. And he is going to need a lot of treatment and a lot of care over the next several years. So you guys, the only thing we have done, and scared us into, you know, veganism, because they said, if you want to live, you'll eat nothing with the face, nothing with the mother. And the doctor was, Clegg was a Seventh-day Adventist. He was a vegetarian vegan himself, and he got us in on that road. And I really think that made us healthy to a point.
Oh, sure did.
Because it took you from your sad diet. It took you from that. But then we started having issues, and we needed to push it to the next level.
Well, then I had the silent heart attack.
Yes.
In the end of 2018?
I would have to look back.
Yeah.
It gets confusing.
And that's when Wendy went, holy, you know, she says, we got to do something different. So she started going to all this reading, and that's when she found the keto thing. And she had we had a come to Jesus meeting.
Yes, we did, with each other.
And it was like, okay, look, we're going to have to do something because something's not working. The vegan stuff is not working so as well as we had hoped. It went to a certain point, but that was about it. Now we got to take it the rest of the way, and this was the only way that really you came up with.
I did, because I thought, and I did it really slowly. It's like I kept the vegetables, but we got rid of the potatoes, the rice, the oats, the things. You were having such bad, oh my gosh, he was having such bad hypoglycemia because he was spiking his insulin, and then he was dropping really low. He was cold and clammy and sweaty and shaky. And
which means I was clogging again.
you were having, well, no, it means you were having an insulin, you were...
Yeah, and that causes plaque buildup.
Well, you were having all kinds of things. Anyway, so we've been on keto. We've been ketovore, keto. Since then, we have not cheated. We have not gone and we have not had any bread. We have not had any rice. We have not had any potato. We have had nothing that is not keto.
Right. We might overindulge a little bit on
keto food,
yeah,
you know,
like that,
or on meats or cheese, but it is absolutely keto.
Even if we have a drink,
it's whiskey.
It's whiskey, and it's basically
or vodka.
It's basically what would you say? More keto-fied.
Well, it is. You can have alcohol on.
But that's really about the only thing.
I'm just saying, not even a taste of real cake. We haven't had real cookies. We haven't had real anything. I am the food Nazi.
Oh yeah.
I'm the food Nazi here.
That's what I call.
He used to call me the food Nazi.
The food Nazi, man.
I'm telling you, we haven't had pizza. Not the topping of a pizza. Not a pizza. Not how, you know, we have not had anything. But sitting in that doctor's office, he looked at us perplexed. I guess we had weird looks on our face.
We did.
We were just like.
We were both like.
All day yesterday, I just was like, I'm sorry, honey, I love you, but I don't believe it. It's so odd.
It's, you know, the reason why we don't believe it is because we went from the operation, the very, very first heart problem, and they're telling us all these gloom and doom to,
How
oh,
much
you're
you're gonna
normal.
No, everything was normal. Well, to the point where the doctor who did it must have read your file, because you said he was standing there staring, and he kept getting closer and closer to the screen, looking at it. And Harry's like, they inject you with, I don't know what, adrenaline of some.
Yeah. Well, it's adrenaline, I think.
I don't know what it is. What didn't I hear?
But the whole thing was, you go from this super, super bad, you're going to die in an hour, 8 years later, after doing all this stuff, to, oh, you're normal. There's nothing wrong.
But what gets me is, how can he say that?
Yeah, see, that's what we're having a hard problem with, because I think because we've been fighting with this situation for so long, that...
Can food really heal your body?
Yeah, can food really do this
good?
that well?
That's what we need to find out.
Yeah, we need to find this out. Now, see, they've kind of like set off a spark here, because we did. That's what happened to us when we were doing the food. I mean, to us, when we were doing the food, it was like life or death.
What food?
When we started our food, we started doing the vegan thing and all that shit.
Right.
It was like
when
life or death.
we started doing vegan, and everybody in the world fought us over that. And it was like, I'm sorry, but that's what the doctor wants, and we are doing it. My mother would bring us articles, you know, you need this, you need that. And I mean, I was really hell-bent on doing it, because I wanted Harry to live. And then when I found keto, and I put him on it, and we went in, and all of these results were so much better, and all of his blood work was so much better, and they just kept taking him off of all these medicines, from 12 pills down to 1 pill, half a pill.
1 pill, yeah.
So,
and then 2 years later,
right, now they're saying
you're normal.
Everything showed up as normal. His heart hasn't been normal for 20 years.
As long as I can remember.
You know, what do you mean normal?
What do you mean normal?
And
normal.
You told us 2 years ago that the artery had partially collapsed. So you guys, thank heaven for keto, ketogenic lifestyle, keto carnivore, because that's the life we chose to eat. And if he knew, we were pouring salt on everything, we were having bacon, and we were having butter, this doctor would have had a coronary. Let me tell you, if I would have explained...
Oh, yeah, if you did, if you would explain to this doctor what she's been doing food-wise, and I turned out like this, the guy would flip. Now, I have fired, I'm going to be truthful, I have fired, I'd say 5 cardiologists over the past 8 years. Well, no, since we started the vegan thing. That's when I started firing them, because nobody...
would listen to what you
would listen to what we were trying
body.
to do, and how it was, what it was doing, and how it was.
Well, your doctor retired, and then you went for your stress test, your first stress test afterwards, and your doctor retired, and we went to that doctor, and he wanted you to see a dietitian.
Yeah.
And the dietitian, you know, had have bread and fruit and orange juice.
Oh,
and
the
food
pyramid.
Milk and non-fat milk, and we told the doctor, no, this is not what we're doing, and he just didn't want to hear it, didn't want to talk to Harry, and it was like, you know what, you're not going back to him, we're finding another one.
These doctors don't get it. Battery went dead.
The battery totally died.
Or we bored it to death, I don't know. But we don't... I hope we're not being too strong on this, because it's kind of really important. If what has happened is true, I mean, we always knew that it kind of would make you feel better and make you better, kind of a thing.
You can do
I didn't know it would do this. If this is true, that's why we want to talk to another doctor. And if you don't believe your doctor, you need to fire your doctor. Now,
or if your doctor doesn't believe you, or what you're doing,
doesn't want to listen to you, get rid of them. There's 100,000 other ones out there. The thing is that I have an internist that will listen.
A doctor of internal medicine.
Yeah, that's why we're going to him to talk to him, because
he loves a dialogue. He loves a lively
dialogue. He knows all about this whole situation anyway.
Yes,
so
he does.
When we go in and show him this test, he's going to be a little...
He's going to look into it.
He's going to what? You know?
Now...
he might do a test.
One thing... What is that?
I have no idea.
That was weird. Yeah. Sorry, folks. I don't know what the bell was for. But one thing that is on the test that doesn't have anything to do with his heart is they found a cyst, 2 little cysts on his kidney.
Right, left.
Which, on his left kidney, that we need to talk to the doctor about to
Right.
see if we need to follow up with that.
Right.
But as far as his atypical minor issue, they don't even go into it because it's so minor on this one. That was a big issue on the other one. So we're taking all of this because, you guys, these are the kinds of things, if this is true, there needs to be a white paper written.
Well, I think there
on
is. That's why all these
this.
doctors
No,
are talking
on you,
about this.
on these clinical results. This is where you were, and this is where you are now, and what did you do different? Well, gee, you took yourself off of all these medicines. You refused taking the statins, which this doctor wants him back on, and we are going to talk to Dr. Opila about, and we are talking heart to heart on that. We don't believe in statins. I don't think he should have. Oh,
Which he knows.
the doctor said something very interesting when he talked about statins.
Yeah.
What did he say, Harry?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go on.
Okay. So Harry said, well, what are the side effects? Because of all the pain I had when I was on every statin you wrote a prescription for. I think there were 3 different ones you tried, and you were in extreme pain. Get this, you guys. The doctor said, well, some people need a little bit more cholesterol in order to not have muscle cramping.
You got to think about it.
He said that. Some people need a little more cholesterol in their diet so they don't have the severe muscle cramping. He's talking about the people on statins, and statins is supposed to keep you from producing cholesterol. Harry and I heard that, and we were like,
Well, yeah, I kind of looked. She looked at her. She looked at me. I looked at her. We
I
didn't
looked
say
at him,
anything.
didn't say
We just,
anything. Oh my gosh. We got in the car.
Did
and
I really
looked at
just
him.
hear that?
Yeah. He looked at me and he goes, I'm not taking the statin, right? I looked at him. I said, yeah. I said, I don't think you will. But can you believe that, you guys? Every single cell in your body needs cholesterol. There are so many papers out there, so many doctors that are finding that the cholesterol issue is not as much of an issue as people think. And the first thing he says to us about the aches and pains that Harry had every time he got on statins was maybe he's one of these people that needs a little more cholesterol so he doesn't have muscle cramps. Yeah. So anyway, you guys, we are going to go to our doctor of internal medicine. We're going to talk to him about the little cysts on his kidneys. We're going to talk to him about this issue. And, we are chalking it all up to the ketogenic lifestyle that we have been on. And I'm going to keep at it. I'm going to keep tweaking our diet. If something doesn't work for us, we're going to change it. And right now we are higher protein. We're doing 1 gram of protein to, 1 gram of energy total. Mm-hmm. And we are working with that because that's how we are doing it for us. We're not doctors. We're not medical practitioners. I'm not a nurse. We're not chiropractors. We're not medical people of any kind, way, shape, or form. So if you guys hear something here that rings a bell with you or sounds true to you, please see your medical practitioner. Talk to your doctor before you do anything to change any medicine that you are on, you guys. We are doing this for us. We experiment on us. We discuss it between us. But I'm telling you, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. Who said that here?
Socrates.
Yes. So I think the same is true, you guys. Anyway, I hope we weren't too... We're just passionate about it because we can't believe it. And I hope you guys gleaned some information out of this. It was important for us to talk about it. We're still kind of in awe over it. The doctor of internal medicine also has all of your old records where he can go back and actually research your treadmill tests from the past.
From all the way back to the mid-90s.
Yeah. So anyway, you guys, if you guys like what you see, please remember to like, subscribe, ring that little bell, give us a thumbs up, you guys, and we will see you right here tomorrow. Good night, everyone. Well, you know, it's right to be passionate because we're both still...
I know, but it's like I want to scream it.
No, I know you do.
Because it's so important if it's for real.
Right, and that's
because we've done such a clinical thing on ourselves by doing our weights, keeping graphs, doing all this stuff. We've done our own scientific study on this.